From its origins and symbolism to some of its most notable operations, there are 11 things you didn't know about Anonymous. Today's video was requested by Starzik Animation. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 11. What it is. Anonymous is an international decentralized hacktivist group that has drawn its notoriety from the various DDoS cyber attacks launched against corporations, governments, institutions, the Church of Scientology, and other organizations. As hacktivists, some members of Anonymous use their knowledge of computer systems and networks in a subversive manner in order to promote different facets of the group's philosophy. However, that doesn't mean that all of its members, known as Anons, are elite hackers. There's no particular requirement for joining Anonymous, and the group operates in a decentralized command format, without an established leader or infrastructure. The overall philosophy is loosely agreed upon, while the cyber attacks are coordinated by like-minded hackers that are part of the Anonymous movement. Some have called Anons criminals and vigilantes, while others refer to them as outlaws, akin to digital Robin Hoods. Number 10. How it started. The roots of Anonymous can be traced back to 2003, to a 4chan message board. The site's B-board was the first place where the term Anonymous was used as a shared identity for a collective of unnamed individuals. From it, a community of like-minded users emerged as Anonymous, which first tasted popularity in the form of an internet meme. These users engaged in mass pranks or raids, which eventually drew the attention of mainstream media. A Fox station in LA was the first to report on Anonymous and described the group as hackers on steroids, an internet hate machine, and domestic terrorists. Number 9. Philosophy. In 2012, Time magazine called Anonymous one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Yet in its early days, Anonymous was more of an expression of anarchic entertainment and trolling culture. This was also reflected by doing it for the lulz, one of the common phrases used by its members. As the group started gaining attention, it began to develop a voice focused on social change. A long-standing and even divisive argument within the group debated whether Anonymous should primarily stand for entertainment and pranking or for serious activism. Since the group consists of thousands of members, it's fairly difficult to outline a central philosophy. Nevertheless, some of the main ideas that Anonymous opposes have to do with internet control and censorship, assaults on free speech, or limiting the sharing of information. There's also a set of rules within the group, some of which include not attacking the media, not talking about the group, and not disclosing one's identity. Number 8. Symbolism. There's a tagline that's frequently used by Anonymous members, and this is, "We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us." This indicates that the group doesn't work for the objectives of a single leader, but rather as a unit that's unrelenting in its resolve once it collectively agrees upon an objective. The group's anonymity and lack of central governing authority is also reflected in its emblem that depicts a man with a question mark instead of a head. Perhaps the group's most famous symbol is the Guy Fawkes mask. Fawkes was the best-known member of the Gunpowder Plot in the early 17th century. Along with his conspirators, Fawkes sought to blow up the House of Lords in London on November the 5th, 1605. The mask used by the group was designed by illustrator David Lloyd. It was a major plot element in the 1982 graphic novel V for Vendetta, as well as in its 2005 big screen adaptation. Number 7. Being anonymous. As Anonymous puts it, you can't join Anonymous. as it isn't a party, a club, or even a movement. In a YouTube video, Anonymous refers to itself as a collection of people who travel the same short direction for a short period of time. Becoming an Anon requires nothing in exchange. However, taking part in more elaborate anonymous stunts most likely involves building relationships and proving yourself as a hacker. Anonymous operates a revolving door of people with various backgrounds and philosophies. Journalist and former member Barrett Brown described the group as a series of relationships where power is held by those who can rally people to their cause or by those who've established themselves as capable hackers. Some websites affiliated with the group advise would-be Anons to pursue forms of activism that operate within the confines of the law. If you're confident that the more subversive anonymous route is for you, these sites teach you how to contact the group over IRCs, which are encrypted internet relay chats, and how to encrypt your computer for maximum privacy. From that point on, it's a matter of developing relationships while maintaining anonymity. You can then find the IRC channel that's dedicated to a particular cause and pledge your support. Number 6. Attacks. As recent history has proven, Anonymous will pick a fight with any entity that it views as being corrupted. The distributed denial of service, or DDoS attack, has traditionally been the group's main form of subversion. This type of attack crashes a network by overloading it with information, basically rendering a website unusable for a period of time. It's the equivalent of a small website abruptly increasing in popularity and being unable to cope with the increase in traffic flow. Anonymous DDoS attacks are launched from a type of software called the Low Orbit Ion Cannon, or LOIC. It can be used to dish out large-scale hits to any website. After the Anons that organize the operation agree upon a target, they'll give you a target URL. When the signal is given, all you have to do is enter the number of hits you want to send and click a button to unleash the attack. If you don't agree with the target, you can withdraw your computer from the botnet, thus weakening the LOIC. The power of the LOIC depends on the number of computers participating in the botnet. Yet, the use of such software comes with a degree of risk, as it is traceable. Brian Thomas Mettenbrink was 18 years old when he took part in the anonymous LOIC attack that took down the Scientology website in 2008. He had to pay $20,000 in compensation to the Church of Scientology and served a year's sentence in prison. Number 5. Project Chanology. Project Chanology enhanced the anonymous scope of operations beyond trolling to include hacktivism. In 2008, the Church of Scientology attempted to remove a clip from the internet in which church member Tom Cruise was praising the religion. Anonymous retaliated to what the group perceived as being a form of internet censorship. Anons sent black faxes to deplete the church's ink cartridges, prank-called its hotlines, and DDoS attacks were launched across Scientology websites. In one viral video during the DDoS attacks, Anonymous vowed to expel Scientology from the internet. Additionally, thousands of Anons wearing Guy Fawkes masks physically protested Scientology facilities around the world. This marked the first wide-scale adoption of the mask that would steadily come to be associated with Anonymous. Number 4. Operation Payback. By September 2010, Anonymous all but lost its media coverage, and Anons had become divided between those seeking to wreak havoc for pure amusement and those that wanted to remain politically active. Indian software company Aplex Software would unwillingly bridge the Anonymous divide. Aplex contracted with film studios as well as record labels and was using Anonymous-like tactics to take down copyright infringers like the Pirate Bay. This was something that didn't sit well with Anons all around, since it went against the idea of freely sharing information. Anons coordinated through IRCs to take down the sites for Aplex, the Recording Industry Association of America, the Motion Picture Association of America, as well as a multitude of other websites associated with copyright protection. When the dust settled, Operation Payback had caused almost 540 hours of downtime for the sites targeted. Number 3. Operation Avenge Assange. In November 2010, Anons extended Operation Payback to include Operation Avenge Assange. After WikiLeaks released hundreds of thousands of leaked US diplomatic cables, the US government issued legal threats that prompted Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal to cut off service to WikiLeaks. This prompted Anonymous to issue a press release in support of the organization, declaring PayPal a target. A series of sites were brought down, but the loik was not strong enough to take down the PayPal site. Civil and Snitch, two Anons that had taken part in the attack, used a virus to hijack a legion of computers and boost the attack. These zombie computers formed an involuntary botnet and provided the necessary edge to take down the PayPal main site, which ended up costing the company $5.5 million. On December the 8th, 2010, Anons also disrupted the sites for MasterCard and Visa. Number 2. Anonymous against ISIS. Shortly after, ISIS took credit for the Paris attacks, which claimed the lives of 130 people. Anonymous declared war on the terrorist organization and promised to hunt down its members. They claim to have shut down thousands of ISIS-related social media accounts, although the exact number has been disputed. An offshoot of Anonymous, calling itself GhostSec, started targeting ISIS-affiliated sites in 2015. The group would eventually divide into two factions. One maintained the name GhostSec and the anonymous ties. The other rebranded itself as Ghost Security Group and chose to cooperate directly with law enforcement and ended its association with Anonymous in November 2015. Nevertheless, both factions continue to work against ISIS. Number 1. Operation Dark Discovery. In October 2011, Anons took on dark web child pornography site Lolita City and publicly released 1,589 usernames from the site. A multitude of pedophile sites employing the Tor network were subsequently disabled by the group. They used the online forum Payspin to post the IP addresses and emails of suspected pedophiles. They also reportedly contributed to the capture of internet predator and pedophile Chris Forkand. In 2007, Anons posed as children online to gather evidence against Forkand, which they then turned over to law enforcement.